You get the vaccine and you didn't want to get the vaccine, you're my enemy. You're my enemy, and I disown you. Let me make myself perfectly clear. Anyone who gets the vaccine and they didn't want to get the vaccine, but they got it under pressure, I disown you. Anyone who gets the vaccine, but they didn't want it, anyone who was on our side, who thought that, this vaccine may not be good for me, I'm not going to take it. I don't want this, but you got it because they said you're not going to go to a bar, you're not going to go to a shopping center, you're not going to get groceries, you're not going to have a job, you're not going to do anything, and you bow to that pressure, I disown you. And let me make that perfectly clear. If you want to get the vaccine and you get it, that's one thing. That's your personal choice. That's your personal choice. I have nothing to do with your personal choice. I am not saying that the vaccine is dangerous for everybody. Many people have gotten it, and some seem to be doing just fine. But medicine is a personal choice. And this is where I draw the line here. This is where I draw the line. And anyone, any government that forces me to take this vaccine against my will, I will kill you. I will kill you. Listen, look at my eyes. I will kill you. I'm saying that right now. I'm out of jail on bail right now. I will kill you. I will kill you. I don't care who you are. So let me recap for you. We have to stick together on this one, patriots. But if you bow down to pressure and you break up our movement, if you break up the movement of resistance, and I'm not just talking about people who get the vaccine who don't want it but get it anyway because they're afraid. I don't care about your fear. I don't care about your fear. You are a bigger enemy to me than even these New World Order people. I can guarantee you that. You are my enemy. You are my enemy. If you get this vaccine because your job told you to get it and you don't get it, you lose your job. Medication is a very serious thing. Don't let any dog on CNN, BBC, MSNBC, or so-called doctor, CBC, CTV, Global News, don't let anyone on the mainstream media tell you that this medication is good for every single person on the planet. That's nonsense. That's nonsense. There is no medication on this planet which is good for 100% of the population. None. And any doctor who tells you that should be stripped of their credentials, should have their PhD removed from them, and they should actually be locked up for maltreatment. That is maltreatment. There are people on this planet who can't take Buckley's medicine. There are people on this planet who can't take Tylenol. There are people on this planet who can't take Advil. And you're gonna tell me that every single man, woman, and child, and whatever gender you think you are, because we're living in a very strange time, every single one of these people in the planet, everyone in India, everyone in China, everyone in Brazil, everyone in America, everyone in Canada, everyone in Europe can take, everyone in Africa and Australia and Oceania can take this medication, these vaccines. You are talking dog shit to me. And I will hold you to account to that. I'm not taking this. I'm not taking it. And I'll tell you something. If Biden or Kamala or Justin Ataki and Daddy Trudeau or Doug Ford or any of them come out and say this vaccine is going to be forced, I will call for violence on those people. I will. But anybody in England, in France, where Emmanuel Macron, who got bitch slapped the other day, is now saying that you need to have a vaccine if you work in the health sector. And if you want to go to a store or a cinema or anything, and you take that vaccine because you're afraid you're going to lose your job, you will starve, you won't have a place to live, and you succumb and you take that vaccine, I disown you. I curse you with death. I pray you die. And by the way, I'm a Christian man. There's nothing you can find in the Bible which says that I can't pray for your death. People who come up to me and say, oh, you talking so dirty, and you have this cross behind you and all these Christian paraphernalia behind you, and you talking like this. Let me tell you something. The Bible is one of the bloodiest books ever written. God is not some Barney, Teletubbies, SpongeBob, SquarePants God. God is a serious person, and God puts people in hell. God burns people. God creates people and God burns them as well. So I, as one of God's servants, can pray for your death, and I will if you take this vaccine and you didn't want to take it and you take it under pressure. I curse you with death. I curse you with AIDS. I curse you with cancer. I curse you with sickle cell anemia. I curse you with every death, every disease known to man on this planet. If you have a cupboard full of food and a fridge full of food, I pray that it all spoils, because you would have damaged this movement, which is one of the most important movements in our time, the anti-New World Order movement. I am determined to make sure that life goes back completely normal the way it was before 2020. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen with or without you. If you betray us, if you do what the Vichy French did and you collaborate and you get the vaccine when you didn't want, I don't care if you get it and you want to get it and you believe in it. Look, my thing is not about the vaccine. I have no problem with the vaccine. This is just another piece of man-made medicine. And man-made medicines have done a lot of good for people. The polio vaccine has done a lot of good for people. Measles, mumps. Many people have said that they get the flu shot and they're fine. I am not on here saying that this vaccine is poison. It will kill you the moment you take it. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But there comes a point when enough is enough, and a loud voice has to come up and say, stop it. The mainstream media, the politicians, the big business people, stop. You are not going to tell me that every single man, woman, and child, every single 1.2 billion persons on this planet can take this vaccine and nothing happens to them. You won't say that to me. You won't. You won't, and I won't let you get away with that either. I may only be a Bitchute YouTube channel, which is on a bunch of other websites as well, with about 14,000 people on YouTube, about a few hundred people on Bitchute, and a few handful of other people on Rumble and Brighteon and all those other pages. I may only be a 5'8" black man talking from a home, trying to speak righteousness to you. But when I see people who claim to be doctors come on air and say that you are foolish for not taking this medication, there needs to be consequences for you if you don't take this medication, and don't question this medication, because everyone can take this medication and you will be completely safe. The only side effect will be a little scratch on the arm. When we know that these people, even the NHS, has come out and said that there are vaccines that have been made for this virus, which if you take it and you suffer allergic reactions, we can't guarantee your safety. I'm going to stand up and I am going to speak about it. I'm going to. I am going to. And I'm going to speak it in a way that I see fit, and you and no one else is going to stop me from how I say this. If I say that I call for violence on Joe Biden because he's now saying that if you don't take the vaccine, we're going to haul you off to a concentration camp, I'm going to say it, and you're not going to stop me. You're not. I'm sick and tired of people on our side thinking that this is a joke. And if you take this, because this is not about the virus, this is about sticking together against tyranny. If we don't stand up and put a fork in it now, things are going to get worse and worse and worse. And this is where I draw the line with this virus thing. I have not followed any of these rules, not one. And I promise you, I'll say, there have been times where I've put on a specific mask from time to time, which says that this mask is useless. There have been times where I've done social distance from time. There are times where but I will not, I repeat, I will not get this vaccine. And if you get this vaccine and you don't want to, but you get it under pressure, then I pray for your downfall. I don't care. Don't tell me that you're afraid. Don't tell me, because I'll tell you this, they can't arrest all of us. They can't close down every single business. They can't kill all of us, because if they do, then their plan collapses. Their plan collapses. There is a picture. There's a picture that I want to show you guys, which is a very, very good picture, which I'm going to show you now by sharing the screen. And it says, all we have to do is stand up and their game is over. And that's very true. That's very true. That is very, very true. It has literally come down to a meme. Life has literally come down to a meme. And I'm going to stand up. And if you want to stand up and you don't stand up because you're afraid, then you can go to hell with the rest of the people who we are going to destroy when we win. Because that's where they're going. And if you want to go with them, so be it. But I want to send a special shout out to all the people of Britain who are rioting because Boris Johnson has said that anybody who wants to go to a nightclub or anywhere has to, to a large gathering, has to show that they've been vaccinated. Now, I'm not calling for violence in the UK, though I won't speak ill of it. I won't speak ill of it. But the reason I'm not calling for it is because Johnson has not broken the condition that I have, which states that if you force me to get the vaccine physically, or you force me by not allowing me to go into a grocery store, or if you force me to lose my job if I don't get it, then I will call. I am calling for violence in France, though. I am calling for violence in France. And these are pictures in France. And I'm glad to say that the people in France are following my call to arms. I am. And the reason I'm calling for violence in France is because Emmanuel Macron has done two things. He has made two mistakes. Number one, he has said that people in France who work in the health industry who are not vaccinated will lose their jobs. And number two, I've heard, now I can't confirm it, but I've heard that if you don't get vaccinated, you cannot go into a grocery store. Now, if you can't buy your own food, if you can't work, or if they just pick you up from your house and take you to a concentration camp to get vaccinated, then I call for violence. Then I call for violence. But if they're not going to let you go into a bar or something, don't get it and let the bars all collapse. Because I'll tell you something, there are more people who don't want to be vaccinated than people who do. And if all the people who don't want to be vaccinated don't get it and don't have their damn COVID passport, then the rest of the people, they can't sustain an economy as big as the United Kingdom. It can't be done. It can't be done. But if you do want to get if you don't want to get the vaccine and you get it, then you are playing into the system and they're going to get worse and worse and worse. And I'm not going to let that happen. So I can't speak to the people in the New World Order, though they can hear me and they hear me well. But you people who claim to be on my side, if you get this vaccine and you agree with what I have to say, you get it anyway, I want you to burn in hell. Burn in hell. And I wish death and suffering for you for the rest of your life. And with that being said, this is your